Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. It is far better take things as they come along with patience and equanimity. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. The healthy man does not torture others. Generally it is the tortured who turn into torturers. A particularly beautiful woman is a source of terror. As a rule, a beautiful woman is a terrible disappointment. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, there love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Man needs difficulties, they are necessary for health. It all depends on how we look at things, and not how they are in themselves. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. Often the hands will solve a mystery that the intellect has struggled with in vain. Children are educated by what the grown-up is and not by his talk. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. Through pride we are ever deceiving ourselves. But deep down below the surface of the average conscience a still, small voice says to us, something is out of tune. The greatest and most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved but only outgrown. The collective unconscious consists of the sum of the instincts and their correlates, the archetypes. Just as everybody possesses instincts, so he also possesses a stock of archetypal images. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. The least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. The most intense conflicts, if overcome, leave behind a sense of security and calm that is not easily disturbed. It is just these intense conflicts and their conflagration which are needed to produce valuable and lasting results. We should not pretend to understand the world only by the intellect. The judgment of the intellect is only part of the truth. If one does not understand a person, one tends to regard him as a fool. Mistakes are, after all, the foundations of truth, and if a man does not know what a thing is, it is at least an increase in knowledge if he knows what it is not. Our heart glows, and secret unrest gnaws at the root of our being. Dealing with the unconscious has become a question of life for us. Understanding does not cure evil, but it is a definite help, inasmuch as one can cope with a comprehensible darkness. Man is not a machine that can be remodeled for quite other purposes as occasion demands, in the hope that it will go on functioning as regularly as before but in a quite different way. He carries his whole history with him, in his very structure is written the history of mankind. Great talents are the most lovely and often the most dangerous fruits on the tree of humanity. They hang upon the most slender twigs that are easily snapped off. It is a fact that cannot be denied. The wickedness of others becomes our own wickedness because it kindles something evil in our own hearts. Who has fully realized that history is not contained in thick books but lives in our very blood? Show me a sane man and I will cure him for you. Dreams are the guiding words of the soul. Why should I henceforth not love my dreams and not make their riddling images into objects of my daily consideration? Man's task is to become conscious of the contents that press upward from the unconscious.